Getting a good night's sleep is an important part of your study schedule. Teenagers need a minimum of 8 hours sleep a night, and preferably more. Yet very few actually have that amount. So why is sleep important? Well, sleep deprivation has an enormous impact on our bodies. When we don't get enough sleep, we feel lethargic, nauseous, disconnected, and generally miserable. Mentally, we'll experience drowsiness, have less ability to concentrate and difficulties remembering. Physically, our strength will be reduced and we'll have less ability to fight off infections. Most of our sensations will be dulled, leaving us feeling foggy and confused. In fact, someone who's been awake for 18 hours straight will have the same reaction times as someone with a blood alcohol level of 0.05. This means that their ability to make sound decisions will be severely impeded. They'll be slower to process information, physically clumsy, and more impulsive. None of these behaviours is conducive to effective study. We know that it's dangerous to drive in this state, so clearly our actions are severely impaired. In fact, it has such an impact that sleep deprivation is commonly used as a method of torture. Over time, sleep deprivation not only affects our study, but also our long-term health. It can lead to an increased risk of depression and mental illness, strokes and asthma attacks, hallucinations and severe mood swings. It also greatly increases our chances of being involved in serious accidents. Clearly, getting enough sleep each night is vital for our health and well-being. So why is sleep an important part of the study process? Our days are spent acquiring information, but at this stage the memories are very fragile and easily forgotten. Effective study requires us not only to gain information, but to consolidate and store it effectively. And our sleep actually plays a huge part in this. Sleep is the body's way of resetting, recalibrating, and repairing itself. We all know that at the end of the day we need to shut down our computers so that they can clean themselves out and store information effectively. Well, our brains need to do exactly the same. We know that sleep occurs in different phases, moving from light sleep to deep sleep and rapid eye movement or REM sleep, which is where dreaming often occurs. The cycles repeat about every 90 minutes. The non-REM stages help to consolidate and organise memories. When we first learn information, the brain stores it in the hippocampus, or our short-term memory. While we sleep, our brain moves it from the hippocampus into our long-term memories. Here it gets organised. New information is connected to previously stored knowledge and filed appropriately. After that, REM, the most active stage of sleep, seems to play a role in linking together related memories, sometimes in unexpected ways. That's why a full night of sleep might help with problem solving. When we're stressed or don't know what to do, we're often told to sleep on it. During the night, our brain will process the information and even look at possible solutions. REM sleep also helps you process emotional memories, which can reduce the intensity of our emotions. This means that once we wake, we can process the situation in a much calmer, more logical manner. The brain will also determine how important the information is based on the emotional impact of the memories. Anything to which you have a strong reaction is deemed more significant, and hence it's stored more deeply. This is why it's also important not to catastrophize things that don't go so well for you. The more you focus on them, the more the brain will register them as important, and the more readily you'll remember the things that made you stressed or upset. Moving information from the hippocampus has two benefits. Firstly, it helps us store the information for the long term, and secondly, it clears up the hippocampus ready for new information. Without sleep, this clearing would not occur, meaning that our brains would quite literally reach overload and not be able to absorb any new learning. Good sleep improves memory retention and recall by 20 to 40%, helping us store the information and access it later. The more you learn, the more you need to sleep. In one sleep study conducted in 2011, a group of 44 participants underwent 2 rigorous sessions of learning, one at noon and another one at 6 p.m. Half of the group was allowed to have a short sleep between sessions, while the other half took part in standard activities. The researchers found that the group that slept between learning sessions learned just as easily at 6 p.m. as they did at noon. But the group that didn't sleep experienced a significant decrease in their learning ability. Think about it. Do you often feel sleepy when you study? Well, it's partly fatigue and the effort and the sedentary parts of learning, but it's also partly your brain telling you that it's full and it needs to shut down for a while in order to consolidate and organise the information. We might think that all-night study sessions are an efficient use of time, but the lack of sleep does more harm than good and makes most of the study session useless. Sleep needs to be viewed as an important part of the study process rather than as an optional extra that can be sacrificed to create more time. So how do we get enough sleep? We need to be as disciplined about going to sleep as we are at getting up in the morning. A good sleep routine will help train your brain ready for sleep. Just as you do in the morning, it's a good idea to set an alarm to remind yourself when you should stop focusing and start to wind down. When the alarm goes, finish what you're doing and then stop. Move away from your desk to signal to your brain that learning can stop. Having a set routine of showering, teeth cleaning, etc. gives your brain further clues that it should be calming down and getting ready to relax. Put away all electronic devices. You might not have to concentrate as much to check your social media as you do when you're studying, but the light will stimulate your brain. You also might read something that creates an emotional reaction and winds you up. Keep the lights dull and the mood calm. Some people find it helpful to read. You'll often start to feel very sleepy after just a few minutes of reading, so long as the book's for enjoyment and not for school. It's very important that you never study on your bed. If you do, your brain will see it as a place of work and will deliberately try to keep you awake so that you can study. Or, alternatively, it will cling to your bed as a place of rest and prevent you from studying hard in order to keep your mind calm and relaxed, ready for sleep. This means that both your study and your sleep will be compromised. If you struggle to sleep, it might be helpful to place a journal beside your bed. If any thoughts, worries, or activities that you need to complete come to your mind, write them down in your journal. This takes them out of your mind, telling your brain that they're safe and it can let go of the thoughts. They can be actioned in the morning. While it might be tempting to stay up late into the night to study, or perhaps to game, watch movies, or catch up on social media, it's really important to give your body the amount of sleep it needs. Without it, no amount of study will help, as without enough sleep to give our brains time to sort, consolidate and store the information, it will be easily lost. Remember, as always, the goal is to study smarter, not harder. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like it and to look for us on your social channels. For more great study tips, subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our website.